Good morning. It is February the 18th, 2017. Right now we do have some rain and is moving through the area right now. Temperatures are in the upper 40s to low 50s. That would be an average high temperature for this time of February, but instead we are waking up to an average high temperature of February. And so temperatures are well above average this morning, but they're not going to move a whole lot this afternoon. Maybe the mid to upper 50s for high temperatures the longer this rain and clouds stick around. The cooler these temperatures are going to be throughout most of today. So that means that our temperatures are still going to be a little bit above our average high of about 50 to 51 degrees on February the 18th. So as we go in through the next week of weather, we're going to notice how we see several rain chances coming in this coming week. Now today, those rain showers will come to an end around noon or 1 o'clock and then move out. We do have a couple of maybe spotty rain showers in the forecast throughout the rest of this afternoon. Temperatures are going to stay in the mid to upper 50s. Maybe a couple of you will hit the low 60s in the Purchase area of western Kentucky, but it just doesn't look like we are going to be getting up that high in the temperature department today. We looks like the rain totals are going to be less than a quarter of an inch for most areas. Now, as we go throughout the rest of this evening, those rain showers will be departing, and then we begin to see a little bit of a break for Sunday and the majority of the day on Monday. We will see a big temperature spike on Sunday and Monday. Temperatures on Monday are likely to be in the mid 70s, so likely we will break a record on Monday, especially if we see that sun pop out a couple of times. We do see some rain moving in from the west. Doesn't look like severe weather. The look of it might look like it, but the ingredients won't be there for any severe weather on Monday night and early Tuesday morning, which is when that rain will be coming in. Looks like it will be weakening as it moves into our area, so that is good news. We don't want any severe weather. We could use just a little bit of rain. It has been overly dry the last couple of weeks. The Missouri Valley can definitely use some rain. As we go into the middle of the week, we begin to see another break of those rain chances, which means our temperatures are going to spike once again, and then we see another storm system coming in for the very end of this week and early in the weekend. So mainly Friday looks like that rain chance. It doesn't look like severe weather, but the 6Z model run of the GFS, which is what I'm showing you right now, has brought this storm system way far south from where it originally has had it. Here, I'll just walk you through the last couple of runs. So here was the 0Z model. It's in Des Moines. Here is the 18Z model from last night. It's in Minneapolis. And the 12Z model from yesterday, it had it around the Minneapolis area as well. And today, the 6Z model brought it all the way down to the middle of Missouri. And that is way south. And I don't think that's going to happen because we don't have any blocking right now. And blocking usually suppresses storm systems to the south. And we don't have any blocking right now, so I think this storm system will be further north than what the 6Z was showing. I think sometimes the GFS can just spit out a silly solution and then it'll go back to its original solution as we go into the next couple of runs. We'll have to wait and see what the 12Z run of the GFS looks like later on this morning. So that if it were to take this track, it would bring snow into parts of Chicago, some backlash snow in parts of St. Louis and Illinois, but like I said, I don't think this is going to happen. It could, but the likelihood of this solution being the reality is very, very low. If this were to happen, we could have a couple of flurries or snow showers early Saturday morning next week, but like I said, I don't think this is going to happen. This storm system looks to be a lot further north than what the GFS is showing it. And then we begin to see another storm system coming in around the end of next weekend. This would be around Sunday night and then Monday morning. Notice how we have another storm system moving in from the west, but we do have colder air moving in behind the storm system coming on Friday, which will be a cold front, and that is going to set the stage for the next storm system, but it looks like this one's going to go to our northwest also. So it looks like it is going to be a rainmaker for us as well. So you snow and cold lovers, I don't know what you have to do to get snow because, I don't know what you have to do. If there was something that I could do to get snow, I would have done it just about every single day this winter. That's how much I love the snow and cold, and it sickens me to look at this just as much as it does you if you love the cold and snow. If you are a big, warm winter fan, then you have had your winter, so don't expect this to happen probably next winter because you got what you wanted this winter. Anyways, that storm system is going to move off to the north and east, and then we're going to have to watch, several other storm systems behind it going into the middle of next week and into the 1st of March. Let's go look at the temperatures throughout the next 10 days, showing that we are going to be looking at well above normal temperatures. I don't know I really don't know how to stress to you how abnormal this is. Some of you I've seen, across social media think that this is normal. I mean, it's normal to have a quick warm up or two in the middle of winter, but not this sustained warmth that we have been so, stuck up with the last month and a half or so, a little bit less than a month and a half. And I still think that we're going to be stuck in it throughout the rest of March and throughout the rest of winter. Temperatures on Sunday are going to be soaring into the upper 60s to low 70s. Low to mid 70s is going to be the ideal on Monday. And then by Tuesday, those temperatures will cool down a little bit just because we will have some rain moving in that morning. And then temperatures soar up again to the 70s for Wednesday and then Thursday. Thursday, I think, will be into the mid 70s. And look at this. Upper 70s are not too far from us around the Memphis area, into the Jackson, Tennessee area. I really don't think that the 80s are going to be too far from us on a couple days this week. I think Monday and Thursday will be the two warmest days this week, and then Friday those temperatures cool down a little bit because we will have rain moving into the area on Friday evening and then Saturday morning. Those temperatures quickly cool down to averages. This is not below normal. About 54 degrees would be an average high temperature by the time we get to Saturday the 25th. And a lot of meteorologists maybe that you're watching are stressing that we have a lot of cold air moving in after that storm system comes through, and we don't, guys. I mean, it's just going to go back to average. Those temperatures ahead of this are going to be so far above normal that even when the cold front comes through, temperatures are going to be average to still above normal a little bit. By the time we get to next Sunday and Monday, those temperatures, upper 50s to low 60s, guys, that would still be above normal by about 5 to 8 degrees by the time you're getting into the very last few days of February. I just do not see this warm pattern getting broken down. This happened back in the fall. Many of you remember the very, very scorching warm fall that we had in 2016, and it took something major to break that pattern down, and a lot of meteorologists were looking at the models and they're saying cold, but it's like, well, we've been in this warm pattern, for the entire fall season, and so how is this going to break down? It would be very difficult to break this pattern down, but you know what? It happened. December ended up being a colder than normal month for our area. A lot of forecasts did end up verifying, even though a lot of meteorologists were kind of like hanging on a limb because the models were saying warm, but the pattern wasn't. Right now, the pattern is saying cold, and the models are saying transient cold for the first couple weeks of March. The next 7 days, precipitation totals are going to be, I think they will be way more than this because we have today's rain, which won't be much, and then we have Tuesday's rain. That won't be a whole lot either. But I think Friday's rate is going to put down, maybe a half inch or so area wide or less. So I think that there will be more rain than what this is showing. This is the rain combining all three systems, today, Tuesday, and then on Friday. Now here is the CFS model. This is the most, variable run-to-run model that you will ever find in the weather business. It varies so much from run to run. I'm just wanting to give you kind of a sneak peek at what I think is going to be in store for us going into March. Now, March, usually our historical averages, they're always increasing. They're already increasing. Your average high temperatures, your average low temperatures. So 50 degrees now is an average, but if you get 50 degrees on March 1st, that's below average. But that's still the same temperature. It still kind of feels the same outside. And so that's just something to keep in mind. Our temperatures are going up, our historical averages are going up, but just keep that in mind when I'm talking about this. But what I think is going to happen is our storm track, our mean storm track, meaning our average storm track, is going to be to our north and west. When the storm track is off to our north and west, we always have warm air being pulled in ahead of every storm system, and then cold air coming in behind it. So it would be warm up, rain, cool down, warm up, rain, cool down. That is what the weather pattern does when it's trying to transition from winter to spring or from fall to winter. So just keep that in mind, that when it does that, that means that anybody north of that storm system or storm track is going to always have cold air being pulled in. So that would be Canada. So I really do think that Canada is going to have a cold March. Most of Canada. The exception would probably be southeast Canada. And then most of the United States is going to be warmer than average, I think, for March. And as much as I hate to say it, I just think that's going to be the pattern. And you got a couple of meteorologists, national meteorologists out there that are just really wanting to hone in on colder than normal temperatures for the month of February, or at least the first couple weeks, or the month of March, I'm sorry. And I just don't see it happening. We have been in this warm pattern, stuck in this warm pattern for the last month and a half, and I just cannot see that warm pattern getting broken down. But if it does get broken down, then so be it. I would be happy because I love the cold and snow. But I can't sit here and forecast something that is not going to happen. And I'm saying that with very, very high confidence. I'm saying with about 95% confidence that March will end up above normal. Because I have fell for the models the last several months the last 2 months in the wintertime, this winter, and I have fell for the models when they say cold. I fall for them, and some other meteorologists have also, and then their forecasts bust when they forecast colder than normal temperatures, and it is the exact opposite. So I'm not going to forecast colder than normal temperatures. I don't care if the models show it. I don't care if the pattern shows it. You will know that I will not be forecasting colder than normal temperatures for the month of March. I would love it. I would really like it if my forecast bust for that and it ends up being colder than normal and we end up with some snow. But right now, I just don't see that happening, and I'm saying that with 100% honesty. And so please keep that in mind that our weather is not going to be determined by the overall pattern over the next couple of weeks, because the overall pattern is going to favor below normal temperatures and snow chances throughout the rest of the February and the 1st of March. But the storm track is not going to favor that. And where do we get our snow from? We don't get our snow from the overall pattern. We get our snow from a storm system, a storm track. And and if that storm track is off to our north and west, especially if it's all the way up into parts of Kansas City, Missouri, Chicago, if the low pressure is passing through those areas, guys, you can go ahead and say goodbye to winter. Because we're just gonna have warm ups, then cool downs, warm ups, then cool downs, and eventually it's just gonna stay warm. And that's when we will officially be into spring, and then eventually summer. So I hate to say this, but I think winter is coming to a close. And if any of you snow and cold lovers still think it's going to snow, still think it's going to have sustained cold periods in the next month or so, then go for it. Some of the meteorologists are, but I'm going to hold back, and I'm not going to be the outlier and say it's going to be cold and then watch my forecast bust and then try and word it to where it wasn't what I thought it was going to do, but it still kind of did what I thought it was going to do. Like, some of the meteorologists missed their forecast, but they word it to where it sounds like they kind of got it right, but they mostly didn't. I'm not going to do that. If I'm going to say warm, if it's not warm, I miss it. But I really do think that the month of March is going to end up above average. I mean, surprise, surprise. It's not like it hasn't been happening all of this winter anyway.